created a space where we can celebrate the unsung and the undervalued. A place where we focus on the many talents and influences for women within the culture, in hopes to inspire women everywhere to overcome adversity in a male-dominated world. Welcome to Woman in Hip Hop. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jazzy Bell here. You are tuned into Women in Hip Hop Podcast. And you already know on this show is where we focus on the many talents and influences from women in hip hop. And today is no exception. Y'all know I've interviewed everybody from Roxanne Shante to Yo-Yo, Rap City, Saweetie, Latto, to even my girl, Wendy Williams. So today we are focused on one of the biggest talents out here that's killing it in the game. She comes from ATL and she is not sorry about it, okay?
Period.
We are here with the one and only Omeretta the Great. What's up, Omeretta?
What's popping?
I'm excited to have you here on the show. I've been watching you doing your thing for a couple of years now, even though I felt like I was late to the party, but it's better than never. So now that I'm here, I couldn't wait to have you on the show. So it's such an honor. And thank you for being here. So you ready to do this interview?
Yes.
All right, let's get to it. Now I said Omeretta the Great. And just for the people that don't know, like your name is Amaria Williams?
Mm-hmm.
That's
you done said my whole government out here.
Okay, let's just stick to Amaria. But when it comes to the stage name, I feel like it's a play off of that. But can you break down the science of your stage name?
It's actually not. It's just a female version of the word Omeretta. My uncle gave me that name.
So who is Omeretta? Is it your uncle?
No, that's
what's Omeretta?
That's like it's a code of silence.
Omeretta.
Yeah.
I never knew that. When you tell people that, does everybody know like that's what that is?
People that know about it, like a lot of people that like know about the code, like Omeretta, they thought that was my name at first. They were like, Omeretta. But it's Omeretta.
And you say your uncle gave it to you?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I was watching an old interview when you was talking about your family a bit, but I did see a quote when you said the pen and paper was my best friend. Now, how old were you when you realized that you can spit?
I was 12, but I've been writing songs since I was like 6 or 7 years old. So I've been knew that I had the talent to write because I used to write like full songs. Then I started writing like poems and stuff. And then I started rapping when I was 12.
You remember your first 16? If you do, let me hear a couple songs.
Oh, I remember it, but I'm scared to rap it.
Why are you scared? This is your humble beginnings. You Omeretta the Great, and I'm sure it was great back then. Just give me a couple of bars, not the whole 16, but a couple.
Okay, if I say it, I ain't gonna be able to stop. So let me just say it. Okay. It go like this. I was 12, so now don't. Okay. You want to say that you love me, but it really hurts inside. This fake love that you gave me and this itty bitty pride ain't even worth a pair of shoes. Ain't even worth a pair of clothes. Can't even paint my nails. Can't even polish my toes. Man, this ain't even real love. If you think so, then you crazy. You ain't even a real man. I would never call you baby. You ain't even close to Chris, and that is the real truth. You say you all bad, but I'm the realest in the room, and I'm the queen of the city. Been real since giving birth. Just like Plies say, you know, I'm the hottest on the earth. I'm the cute one, the fine one, the amazing and the funny. And just so y'all know, I make a whole lot of money. Twerk.
Come on, give it up. That's 12 years old, Omeretta. Still says she the greatest. I know the fans really enjoy hearing that. I know I did. It's so mature. Here I am, a grown woman that can still relate to those bars.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, I also read, I heard in an interview when you talked about 3SD.
Yeah.
About 3SD. Were you 12? Was that around that time?
That was when I was like 6 and 7. That was when me and my sisters had a group called Three Sisters Deep, and I was the songwriter of the group. So that was a lot younger.
Really? Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't know you've been doing this since the beginning. Like, you're not new to this, you true to this.
Yeah, facts.
We appreciate that. So when it comes to the early stages in your career at rapping, who would you say was some of the ones that inspired you?
Lil Wayne, Young Jeezy,
Mm-hmm.
Tip, Eminem,
Mm-hmm.
Plies, just that one album though he had, it was real. Like artists like that just spit for real and they just talk about like real stuff because you can relate to like when people rapped about going through real life stuff, that's the type of stuff I can relate to.
Yes. And like talking about your humble beginnings, and you just the other day, like you said on your Instagram post, performing on one of the first big stage or big shows for you. And that
Yeah.
was the Strength of a Woman. Shout out to Mary J. Blige.
Right.
Talk to me about that experience and what that was like for you.
It was, that wasn't my first big stage, but it was my first big show because I actually like did rehearsals, like got dancers, like we've been in rehearsal for like 2 weeks straight, like you know what I'm saying, like got the outfits together, like it was, I put on a real show. So it was like my first time like actually, because usually I go out on the stage and I just me by myself and just like jump around the stage and just rapping, but this time it was like you know how like Beyonce, they have whole sets put together, like it was a real, that was my first one, like it was lit.
How did it feel though? Because I know, like you said, it wasn't your first big stage. Because we'll talk about what you just did with Latto and being on her tour, and that was big. And I saw the scenes of that on how nervous she was. So I can imagine you having this whole production strictly for you. So yeah, please explain.
But it's actually like it's like I'd be more nervous without the set because it's like having the set together really calms my nerves because it's like I'm not up there trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next because I already know what I'm gonna do. So it's like having a set, it kind of calm my nerves, and plus I got dancers on the stage with me, so they backing me up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for the Latto thing, when I went out on her tour, like I think my nerves was like more acting up more just because I was gonna go out in front of all those people and have to really just like try to see what I was gonna do on the stage while I'm on the stage. Mm-hmm. But it's like when I'm out there with the set, it's like we done practiced this so much that I'm just going and doing what I did in rehearsal.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to MJB, I'm sure you met her performing. Were you able to meet Mary J. Blige?
After my set, I think I left.
Oh. But it was so many other like women there. Like who did you meet that you was kind of surprised, was like, wow, they fuck with me. They know Omeretta the Great. And
I don't think I met nobody there except Usher. We took a picture together. He was back there riding on skates. His dressing room was right next to mine. Okay. So we took pictures and stuff together. And I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay, legendary Usher. I mean, him and skates, that's like a new combination now. That's like that's like a whole new vibe for him. Real quick on the Latto and the Sorry Not Sorry. Once that song hit, you already know it caused a frenzy. What made you write that song, and did you know that it was going to have the impact that it did?
I just wrote it because I was like bored in the car. And I was trying to figure out like what I was gonna write a song to. And I was like, oh, this would be the perfect topic because it's already something like I've been wanting to speak up about this, but it was like I knew people was gonna be like, oh, you just a hater, you just mad or something like that because they like people don't like the truth. So I was like, okay, if I put it in a song, they'll pay more attention to it because it's in a song. So I was like, I'm gonna be the one to step up and like say this because ain't nobody else gonna say it. They just gonna let them keep sliding. Like, so I just, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna take whatever come with it. I just wrote it and I dropped it, but I wrote it like a year before I dropped it. I wrote it in 2021 and I dropped it in 2022.
Why did it take you a year to finally drop it?
Because it was like when I first wanted to drop it, my friend kept telling me not to drop it because she was like, she don't think that's a good idea. But I was like, I knew I was gonna drop it anyway, but I knew I needed to have everything together. Like I ain't have no management, no nothing then. So it was like if I would have dropped it and something would have came of it, like I would have missed those opportunities just because I didn't have everything in place. But it's like once I did drop it, I had a whole team. So
smart. I'm glad you waited. Yeah. You got everybody, even from my hometown, everybody want to do Sorry Not Sorry. I'm from Detroit. People like, you're not really from Detroit. You're from
Yeah,
Centerville. You're from the outskirts. I'm like, yo, she started something. Did
yeah.
you know that it was going to impact other cities as well?
No, like I thought it was just gonna be something like in Atlanta, but I still didn't know it was gonna be that big. I just thought it was gonna be something that get the people talking. Like I had like most stuff lined up to drop after that, but it's like that took off so crazy. We had to hold on, pump the brakes. Like we had to grab that moment. And we had to just chill on everything else because I didn't know it was gonna be like. I just thought it was gonna get people talking, get a little buzz, and on to the next. But it went colossal.
You didn't know other people was going to drop their other freestyles like the legendary Ludacris. I mean, and he did such a phenomenal job. To me,
Right.
he was my favorite. Tell me, how did you feel when you first heard that?
Ludacris.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed at first. I ain't gonna lie, cause I was like, what the word? Cause I thought he was dissing me. Cause I was like, what the word? But then when I listened to it back again, I was like, okay, he giving props. Like, yeah.
I thought he was giving props too.
Yeah.
And then Sierra made her catwalk video to it.
That was lit.
That was lit as well. Did you get anybody that you felt responded to you that was like really upset at your claims?
I literally, like, they made so many diss songs about me. It's not nobody that's like, you know, up in the industry, but it's like rappers that's local or whatever they use that made a lot of diss songs to me, towards me. Like, I was like, okay, whatever.
Okay, well, listen, sorry, not sorry. It has took a whole world on its own. And like I said, other cities is talking about it. I got local rappers in Detroit that's doing that as well. So thank you for putting out the song. It really, really is big. Now, when it came to getting Latto on it, tell me, how did that come into fruition? Because everybody thought that it was really a jab at her.
Right.
Weird. And I like it when the girls play nice. I like how did that happen?
It was just this guy he had commented on the Instagram post, and he was like, he feel like that if I do a remix, I should get somebody on the outskirts to get on there. And I just thought she was the perfect, like, she the first person popped up in my head just because so many people thought that it was towards her. So I just, you know what I'm saying, took my shot and I hit her up and I was like, you want to get on this remix? And she was like, send me the open verse. So it was lit.
Just that cut and dry and that simple.
Yeah.
Was it a phone call? Was it a DM? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I had DM'd her, and then after that, I think she sent me her number or something, and then we got on the phone, and then we talked about it. I was telling her, like, you know, like, now she was like, you spoke for the people from your side, and I'm speaking from the people from my side, and I'm like, exactly, like, come, you know what I'm saying, like, what she did, like, a lot of people was like, oh, she dissed you on your track and stuff, but I'm like, she did what she was supposed to do, like, speak for the South Side, you know what I'm saying, because they felt a type of way about that, like, and they needed somebody to come and speak just how I spoke for Atlanta. You feel what I'm saying?
I definitely feel what you're saying. When it comes to your creative process as a rapper, how does that work for you? You know how some people like to have the lights dimmed, they like to have their M&Ms, their favorite chips, pop, I don't know. But when it comes to Omeretta, what does that look like for you?
I have all the lights off, and I have like a water. And that's it, and my lip gloss and my phone.
Now, why the lights off? What is that? What does that give?
Because I'm shy, and I don't like for people to see me.
It's always the most talented, the most hardest, that be the most shy. Why? Yeah. Can you explain why that's the case? It's very interesting to me.
I just think that, like, a lot of people, they think that since I'm like, I don't know, like, able to have a personality for artists or whatever, they think, like, when they see me and they be like, why you so quiet? But it's because I'm an introvert and I'm real antisocial. Like, I really don't vibe with everybody. So if I'm not feeling your energy, I'ma just like sit there and really not say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I respect it. And so because you're an artist and you're this big personality on stage, that you have to be that way off stage.
Right, exactly.
Talk to me about the Little O show. I was looking at some old footage. And I really loved it because I felt like you really wanted to connect with your fans. And to me, you have one of the best fan base out there. Do you agree with that?
Thank you. I don't know.
I feel like people ride for you. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they do.
Come on. Especially with that whole, I remember with the little baby situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even with, the recent success and everything, everybody's like, yo, Omeretta been the hardest out. Like,
Period.
and I feel like you championed them and you guys championed each other.
Yeah.
I guess when it came to the Little O show, what I loved about it, I feel like, for one, are you ever going to bring something like that back? Would you kind of
probably.
Yeah. Have you thought about it?
No. I just been so busy. I ain't been able to think about really nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the episodes, the reason why I bring up that show is because you talk about being dark skinned and color.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. And I wonder how it is for you now being in this industry. Do you feel like that's something that you face as a female rapper?
I feel like it's something that like it'll always be there. Like a lot of people try to act like that colorism isn't real, but it's real. It's very real. It's just a subconscious thing. Like people don't kind of think about it, but it's like they do it without thinking, because I just like picture like say for instance, like use myself as example, a dark skinned girl that like know how to rap real good. Like to them, that's expected as a dark skinned girl to be tough, to be, you know what I'm saying, be able to do God things. But they don't say that, but in their mind, that's like what's in their mind. But it's like if you have somebody like a lighter skinned girl and she's rapping hard, they're gonna be amazed. Because in their mind, like light-skinned girls are supposed to be soft. So they go like, oh my God, this is insane. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they don't understand that that's just a thing that they just got in their head. But that's a part of colorism. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so subconscious that they don't even think about it, but they just do it without even thinking about it. It's just normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, that's why I was like, she need to bring that a little show, a little ocean back. I felt like it was like 5 years ago, I think, when you created it, but
yeah,
you're saying some really profound things that I feel like would still resonate,
right.
your fan base today, especially something like that. And you're right. That's what attached to a darker skinned person, period. They
right.
more threatened by darker skin. They feel like when they see darker skin is considered more aggressive. It's
right.
just considered a threat. Like you said, it's more of a subconscious thing because of just how we was brought up. And
exactly.
It was supposed to be that way, put it like that.
Right.
It wasn't our fault. It was just, designed that way for us. So I think the more we talk about something like that, the more that people can really take heed to it. Because I believe Cash Dow even spoke up about it, and she was trying to say, it's real, it's real. And everybody's like, you're bugging. It's like,
yeah,
she's not.
Like you be tripping, but it be crazy because they believe that racism is real, but not colorism. But it's literally the same exact thing. Like people like will treat you different because of the color of your skin. That's just how the world is.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about dealing with that when you was younger. How were you able to, I guess, fight against it as a young girl coming up?
Because I've always been like conceited and like overly confident. So it's like the only thing that people like used to like, I just used to think that they couldn't see my beauty just because I was dark skinned, but I never thought that I was like ugly or nothing like that. So it's like I really wasn't the type of person that was insecure or felt like not like bad about myself. So it's like I kind of, the older I got, the more I just understood like it don't really matter, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I have like a light-skinned friend, and the guy always go for the light-skinned friend first, and I never cared because it's like 2 days later they'll be hitting me up, like, so it's like but it's because when they first see you they just see like, oh, there's a little dark-skinned ugly girl, but it's like when they keep looking they like, damn, she pretty as fuck, like, you know what I'm saying, like that. So it's like I didn't never really care about it that much because I knew my beauty, like, it stood out.
Yeah, and representation matters. We all know this. So who would you say was the first person you saw where you say you saw yourself as a representation? Because when I look at you, it's kind of reminiscent to like Foxy Brown, the beautiful dark skin, the baby girl. You got natural baby hair. You be killing it. It's just that confidence as well, and the hardcore way that you spit reminds me a lot of her. But I don't know for you, who was it? I guess that's a female rapper that you saw. We was like, I saw myself. Or even if it wasn't a rapper, who was it?
I think it was Gabrielle Union. Cause I was at my friend's house one day and her mama came in the door and was like, "You look like Gabrielle Union." And I looked her up and I was like, "Oh, I do look like her." And I changed my Facebook name to Gabrielle McCoy.
Shout out to Gabrielle Union. You should tell her that. I felt like she would love that.
Yeah.
Was the first. And that's so important because she was one of the first dark-skinned sisters in Hollywood to really break through. And she's been very consistent with being a chocolate sister representing that. Yes, you are fine. And another person that thinks you're fine as well. Was Kodak Black. You recently remixed.
Oh Lord.
You recently remixed his record.
Yeah.
And he came out and he was not only a fan of your beauty, but also your bars.
Yeah.
Okay? So I guess it's cool to say that. But how did it feel for you hearing him big you up like that?
It was funny because like I just look at Kodak like my twin just because he a Gemini. You know what I'm saying? We both Gemini, so it's like I can't take him serious because he wanted me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like I don't know. Like I ain't take that serious just because of the fact that's just how Kodak act. Like I don't like that's just him. That's just how he act.
Yeah. Okay, so you didn't take it seriously. Okay, because a lot of people be getting offended off of Mr. Kodak, but that's
but he didn't say nothing disrespectful to me, so I was like,
he did not at all. I thought it was funny as well when he and he said a lot of other things. We don't have to go there, but he said he felt like he's better. He said he felt like you better than some of the other female counterparts out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like. Because you say you the greatest, and I feel like in female rap, it has a negative connotation when a woman calls herself the queen or the best or the greatest, but when a man does it seems like they all can coexist and no one is pinning them against each other. How do you feel about that? Like, what do you want the world to know when it comes to you saying you're the greatest, you're the queen?
I just feel like everybody gonna feel like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't picture myself like saying, "Oh, somebody else is greater than me," like, or like, no, that don't even sound right. Like, but I've been like that all my life. I just always thought I was like the greatest or the best in the world. Like, but I work hard to get that title. Like, it's like it's one thing to say it and then it don't be true, but it's another thing to say it and work hard to make that for real. Like,
are you ever offended when you hear another woman say she's the queen of rap or the greatest?
No, like I don't even like. I be so wrapped up in myself to the point I can't really pay attention to like other stuff like that. But I do feel like people should respect people's titles, because everybody come in with like different titles and stuff. Like that's just like Nicki, like she called herself the queen of rap. So I wouldn't come in and be like, "Yo, no, I'm the queen of rap." Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to take nobody's title. Like, whatever somebody call themselves, let them call themselves that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get your own title. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't call myself the queen of rap. I call myself the GOAT or like something like that. Like, everybody got their own title.
Yeah. Speaking of other female rappers, did you see this list? Did you see this?
Oh yeah, I don't be paying attention to stuff like that. Like it's just something like a random person made it and it's just circulating. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I do love about this influx of female rappers, it feels like it's 96 all over again. And with the Little Kills, the Brad, Foxy, Queen, Latifah, Left Eye. Who would you say it would be a dream collaboration for you as far as female rappers is concerned? Do you have anybody? Because you've collaborated with a few already. I even interviewed Colorism a couple of weeks ago for this season of Women in Hip Hop. She's amazing. You guys did that single, which was dope.
Yeah. I would say Doja Cat and Cardi B. Yeah.
Why?
I think that they both dope artists.
Yeah, and you feel like it would complement what it is you got going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Doja Cat and Cardi B. I can see that. I can see that. Now, want to end this interview, I do have this thing called confessional, where I just
Okay.
off is 5 questions, usually more on one-word answers, nothing crazy. But
Okay.
let's see. What is the biggest misconception about Omeretta the Great?
I don't know. I think people be pretty head on.
They're pretty spot on about you. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Omeretta the Great, no biggest misconception. Okay, I know you told me about your dream collaborations, but since this is Women in Hip Hop, give me your top 5 favorite female rappers. I already know who inspired you earlier. You gave it up to T.I.'s and Plies and Jeezy and them. Do you have a top 5 female rappers?
This is not strictly about bars. This is like me just loving the artist. I would say Doja Cat, even though Doja Cat got bars, so I don't want people to think I'm saying she don't. Rico Nasty, Cardi B, Lady London for sure. And number 5. Who is number 5? I don't know.
Ooh, pick one. Number 5. Wait, you got Doja Cat, Rico Nasty, Lady London. I got 2. You got give me 2 more. Oh, you said Cardi B?
Cardi B and Latto. She 5.
You know what? That sounds like a bomb ladies' night remix. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Period.
Like a bomb ladies' night remix right there. Okay. Now, if you had to give advice to the young aspiring rappers coming up, what it is you want to say to them?
To just always be themselves, like authentic, genuine, and don't try to fit in with the rest, because that's how they gonna burn out.
Love that. And of course, the fans want to know, when is the album coming? When can they expect the new?
I would say about the next month, because we're working on it. Like, we're going to the studio and like this week and getting everything cleaned and solidified. So it's coming.
What can they expect? How many tracks? Any collaborations? Production-wise? Like, what we doing?
I don't know the tracks yet, but they can expect some good 5 producers on there. I know I got some songs with Mike Will.
Okay.
I think that's like the biggest producer on the album. They can expect some singing, maybe some pain songs, some chill songs, some club songs, just everything.
I'm glad you said Mike Will, because you know what? Producers are really big right now. Do you have a dream collaboration as it comes to producers that you haven't worked with yet that you would love to work with? No? Okay. No. All right. Now, before you go, give me one word to describe the feeling that you feel right now. Not a phrase, not a sentence, but one word. What would it be?
Happy.
Happy. Happy it is. You heard it here first, a Women Hip Hop Podcast. Omeretta the Great, thank you so much. You are amazing. You've been killing it for a long time, and I can't wait for people to see you do more and for people to give you the flowers that you deserve. You want to know out here doing it. Your talent is amazing, and can't wait to see more.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right. Bye. I created a space where we can celebrate the unsung and the undervalued. A place where we focus on the many talents and influences for women within the culture, in hopes to inspire women everywhere to overcome adversity in a male-dominated world. Welcome to Women in Hip Hop.